All right, welcome everybody here to the opening of the TRUE Esports Plus Tech Lab here at the Waipahu Public Library here. Keynote here with you throughout the day, and we'll get started here in just a couple of moments. It's also broadcasting on Olelo Channel 25, Olelo's Twitch channel as well. But we're here with you inside of the Waipahu Public Library here for the inaugural opening of the TRUE Esports Plus Tech Lab in here, and plenty of important people in here as well. You've got the executive chairman of Central Pacific Bank, along with the chairman of TRUE itself, Paul Yonamine, in here. Leilani Farinas will be joining us later on as well. She's the executive director, and you've got Governor Ige in here as well. He'll be inside of the main room speaking later on as well. So we'll get started here in just a couple of moments. 11 o'clock is the start time for this, and it's just a lot of fun here. They are just rolling in opening video, and as soon as we get there, we will open it up to them as well. well. We'll just cover the opening ceremonies, and throughout the day as well, we'll have different interviews. Like I said, we'll try to attempt to get Governor Ige on here. We'll also have the executive chairman of TRUE Esports, that would be Leilani Farinas, and we'll have we'll try to attempt to get Niall Sky Kawaloa as well, the executive director of UH Esports, University of Hawaii Esports as well. So again, plenty of important people here. And I was talking with one of the esports consultants of TRUE, JJ Nonquil, and he said that this is a trailblazing event. This is an event that is going to lead this all the way through. The goal at the end of the day, obviously, to get all the public libraries in the state accompanied with the esports lab sponsored by TRUE. And there's a lot of great people here as well. You've got PAXA here, Central Pacific Bank Game Dev in here as well. So there's a lot of people that are willing and sponsoring this as well. Governor Ige, like I said, also in the house, will be talking here in the opening ceremonies in just a couple of seconds, and we'll have coverage for you all throughout the day. There'll also be a show match after the opening ceremony is done. Once the opening ceremony is over and all the speakers have gone through, Kelly Ueoka and Kyler Tandle will have the mainstream casting, but we'll keep it here for the Facebook and YouTube portion here on ESPN's Honolulu's Facebook and YouTube page. We'll have different interviews, but we will be broadcasting the League of Legends game that will go on. And it's a mix of a couple of universities here. First mix is going to come from the University of Hawaii esports team. In fact, on this roster, 5 of them coming from the University of Hawaii, 3 from the Hawaii Pacific. Actually, I correct myself. 6 from the University of Hawaii esports team, 3 from Hawaii Pacific University, and 1 actually coming out from the University of Hawaii at West Oahu. So plenty of players, plenty of action here, and again, we'll go throughout there. And it's a good place as well. The public library very well open, and there was a lot of interest setting up in the last 2 days. We had set up on Tuesday as well as yesterday as well, just setting up everything. And while we were setting up, noticing a lot of times that people were just stopping by, seeing a lot of the monitors as people continue to walk in and out. They just took a look at what we were doing. All the computers in here were all nicely set up, and it's all gaming computers as well. And this is how big the esports community is now, right? Everybody's interested, or everybody just wants to take a look at it. It's a $300 billion industry for those that don't know. And it's been growing ever since. Hawaii trying to be a staple point, if you will, as I was talking with, again, the people from TRUE Esports earlier. They were talking about being a bridge between East Asia and Hawaii and trying to get maybe the west side in here as well. And, of course, that is pretty prominent right now. This coming week, actually, next week, I should say, July 18th, will be the start of the Overwatch League coming into the University of Hawaii place. And they'll have 8 teams from the North America region, or I should say the West region, if you will, as they are labeled. So have 8 teams here at the University of Hawaii campus. Again, we'll attempt to get Niall Sky Kawaloa in here to talk about the Overwatch League as well as other aspects of what is going on as well. Coming up in a little while, again, opening ceremonies. If you're sticking with us, opening ceremonies in a couple of moments, being streamed on Olelo channel 55. And you've got also right here on ESPN Honolulu's Facebook and YouTube page, and lots of sponsors. Like I said, you got Central Pacific Bank, you got PAXA, you've got Game Dev HQ, you've got the University of Hawaii esports team, and again, plenty of people willing to show up for it. All the players are lined up and almost ready to go. Governor Ige here set to talk in a little while as well, and it looks like we're going to get started here in just a moment once we see that video start rolling, and you can see it right here. You can see it right here as we get it along inside of our split cam. You'll see the split between us and the feed that's going on, and let's see if we can get things started. It looks like the video, the 1-minute video might start. No, it is not, so we will just keep it right here, as it's just going to start up in a minute or so, but plenty of people inside of this room. A lot of press as well. I know I saw my friend Brian McGinnis from Spectrum News in here as well. He covers a lot of sports stuff. Esports growing as well. He's one of the bigger writers on esports in terms of articles going on. He wrote about the Overwatch League. He wrote about what's going on. He's probably going to write about what's going on today, and I saw a lot of photographers, a lot of video people, and like I said, seats are plenty full inside of the Waipahu Public Library. And the good thing about this too is that, hey, there's no need to be quiet in here, because they're probably going to be shouting in there, and there's probably going to be a lot of talking out here anyway. So Leilani Farinas, you can see on your screen, is talking right now. Let's send it over to the opening ceremonies.
On tech enabling Hawaii. We want to help Hawaii's businesses become more efficient by implementing practical technology to help them be more productive and optimized. By doing so, our local organizations thrive and workers can upskill and earn higher wages. This will allow them to live better lives here in Hawaii. Tech-enabled workers earn 53% more than non-tech-enabled workers. Today, we are excited to launch the TRUE Esports and Tech Lab. This lab will give the community an opportunity to learn about the careers in tech and also give them the ability to learn skills through the entertaining medium of esports and video games. This project has been 6 months in the making, pretty quick. 12 stakeholders across the state, both public and private, coming together to make this lab a reality. I'd like to thank the esports and tech community here in Hawaii. The UH esports team, Sky Kavealoa and JJ Nanquil. The HPU team, Jordan Oliver. Thank you so much to Jonathan Weinberger at Game Dev HQ, who's going to help our community learn. Kason Padilla over at the Hawaii Esports Alliance. And Kyler Tandal, who you will all see in action a bit later on, local boy, EMP Live, he does live streaming for gaming. I'd also like to give a big thanks to the Olelo team, Wes Akamine and Todd Yamamoto, for their partnership. Also for the creativity of Eugene and Rochelle over at Eurofilms. This space would not be possible at all without the Hawaii State Library System, HTDC, Office Pavilion, and Hawaiian Telecom. Last but certainly not least, this lab exists through the generosity of PACSA and Central Pacific Bank Foundation. It's an honor to work alongside TRUE's visionary leadership. Chairman Paul Yonamine and Advisory Board Member Kelly Ueoka. Now, I'd like to welcome Kelly Ueoka to the podium. He will continue our program and serve as today's MC.
Thank you so much, Leilani. I can hardly contain my excitement. I know it's formal. I joked yesterday I was going to open with something memorable, like, let's get ready to rumble, but then they corrected me saying that's already taken, you can't use that. So I thought of, it's showtime, they said that's already taken. So how about welcome to the official launch of the TRUE Esports Tech Lab at the Waipahu Library. Thank you, Leilani, so much. So just a quick rundown of the schedule this morning. I plan to introduce a video that will showcase what we're trying to achieve at this new facility. Of course, invite some of our distinguished guests like Paul and the governor to speak and say a few words. And then we will launch into a live gaming exhibition between two very competitive teams. And as Leilani mentioned, we have the best of the best serving as a shoutcaster. And I will do my best to provide what's known as color commentary in the sports industry. But I just wanted to say what an exciting day it is for the Waipahu Public Library and also for our state. You know, as a former collegiate athlete myself, back in the late 90s, if an opportunity like this for esports was available to me at the time, I have to be honest, I really don't know what I would have done. I mean, it's so exciting to see the intersection of competitive gaming and technology, happening globally in a $300 billion industry. The opportunity has become so large, I don't think we can ignore it anymore, especially with educational aspects afforded. So, with that, I wanted to clarify, this is not an arcade. It's really like we talk about a tech lab to use esports as a catalyst for playing and learning. So there's a ton of learning opportunities. We'll focus on game development and what goes into production, as you'll see today. But beyond that, the technology provided is meant to do a lot more than just that. I think, Leilani mentioned earlier the hardware, provided. It's part of a huge $300 billion industry. People may not realize that 45% or 1.48 billion of the world's gamers are based in Asia. And so that does afford Hawaii a very unique opportunity. I think University of Hawaii has hosted twice the Overwatch World Championships because of our connectivity. That provides a huge opportunity because, as you know, if there's a little blip, a microsecond blip that causes somebody to lose a match, people are fanatical about it. So we can capitalize on the opportunity of our unique geography here in the islands. I honestly think it serves as kind of a bridge between the continental US and Asia Pacific. So the opportunities abound, again, because of our geographic uniqueness. With that, I wanted, as I talked about earlier, I really wanted to highlight this video that really will accentuate what esports is and kind of what it means to our community.
Punching bag, whatever you prefer. He's been both tonight. Takes a fair bit of poke damage now, but it's looking for the back line. It's Kai, looking a little vulnerable there. Quickly forming ranks with the rest of his teammates.
And Fate just kind of forces his positioning. They're going to actually get rid of Void on the high ground.
If you look at the very sort of origins of computer history itself, it is filled with references to video games and the inclusion of video games. Video games were very important for technology in general from the very origins of it. But with esports, again, this is something that has been a part of my life from a very early time, but we never called it esports. It was just competitive gaming. And so it has only gotten far more popular, far more relevant, far more visible.
You have individual plays that people can make. That translates over to video games and in basketball. Like you could have your star player that always goes for like the three-point lineups and like the half-court shots and makes those to like clutch out around for your team. And same thing in video games where you get like these really gifted players that can just carry a team fight.
Video games are really good at helping kids learn communication, being more confident in themselves.
It's their overall character. That's the biggest thing, and how they perform at a team, how they handle stressful situations when they're faced against an obstacle or when they're almost about to lose, or even when they do lose, how do they respond to that?
I mean, we're talking about like a $1 billion industry. Some of these games are larger than some traditional sports nowadays, and people are filling stadiums for it, millions of viewers online.
The entertainment side of esports is bigger than music and movies combined now. So to funnel it into just gaming really does it a disservice, because esports has grown to be this just massive subset of pop culture and entertainment.
There are a lot of investment capital flowing into esports because of the competitive nature.
This idea of Hawaii being central now to the discussion of global esports is a reality. People are looking to Hawaii now as a premier location, right? Just along with LA, with Seattle, with Texas, Paris and Berlin. These are proper esports hubs. If you look to Asia Pacific, now we have Hawaii.
We have 51 public libraries in the state of Hawaii. I think that they're great libraries, but they're underutilized. They have some of the fastest broadband connectivity in each of the communities that they're in. And just imagine if we can create these esports hubs in public libraries, maybe one day even 51 of them, although that might be a little challenging. But if we could do that, we have this vision that public libraries can become tremendous community centers of young people and other individuals interested in esports to congregate and challenge one another and do something that'll be great for their future careers.
So I think it's important for libraries, particularly public libraries, to have access to esports for the community, because it's this growing profession, but it's not only a growing profession, it's an educational opportunity. Technology is driving how we read, how we look for information. It's changing the way we do all those things. So in order for libraries to be able to continue to support communities, we have to keep evolving with the technology so that we can continue to support people.
We're providing exposure and access to the wider community about ways that they could lean into technology or develop skill sets or explore what it means to have a career in technology or what those careers exactly are.
We can upskill a workforce using game development because it's fun and exciting, it's going to keep you engaged. But the reality is that there's a $1 trillion opportunity to use your skill set globally. And so we actually have students here in Hawaii who started off as bartenders and hospitality workers, hotel shift workers, that went through our program and within 120 days became software engineers working for mainland companies, doing things from virtual reality to games, earning salaries north of $85,000 a year.
I was the top spot in my restaurant, and I couldn't progress anymore after that. It's just, you kind of go in there, make your money, and go. Whereas now I've kind of opened the doors to a new career where, I can look forward to moving up in the ranks and already having a higher base salary than I was making bartending. So it's been a really good transition for me.
It's not as tough as one might think to get into software development. One of the things game dev does really well is they just take you from zero and they start teaching you really simple stuff, and they just sneak it in there one at a time, and before you know it, you're like, oh, okay, I kind of understand how to do this and that now.
I firmly believe that that next step into bringing it into the mainstream for our communities is, well, putting it in our communities. Aside from having school teams, we need to be letting the everyday person have access. That's the key. There's making it accessible to everybody, so they aren't only just hearing about the video games, but they can participate in it. They can be a part of that community actively. And I think the TRUE initiative with the libraries is kind of an unprecedented next step here in Hawaii, for sure.
So the potential on esports, going ahead in the future for the state of Hawaii, anything is possible. This is something that's going to become very community-centric, give a lot of the young people in those areas an opportunity to hone in on esports, on the esports opportunity. And the way I see it, I think we have a really good shot at really making a name in the esports arena here globally as well.
Yeah, so thank you. As you heard, thanks for everybody who participated in that video. I think it's really informative. But as you heard, words like unprecedented and phrases like, hey, sky's the limit. I think we're at the crossroads right now, and to partner with an organization like the State of Hawaii Library System, I mean, for me, it's kind of like a dream come true. And it wouldn't have happened without the support of the Hawaii State Public Library System and the state librarian. So with that, I wanted to invite Stacy Aldridge to come say a few words.
Aloha and welcome to the Hawaii State Public Library's Waipahu branch, which now has a new collection. We now have an Esports and Tech Lab collection, and that is the future here. And when I think about video games and I think about the evolution, I remember playing Pong. Some of you may know what Pong is. And being so excited about this simple game that was one little dot going back and forth. You'd play the machine or you would play another person, but you were in the same space. And now to be in this whole new universe of dynamic interconnection, going into the metaverse, and also people playing together in settings like this, but also playing people globally, What an amazing, amazing world it is. And these opportunities that are being created because of an amazing partnership and a community of people who connected each other. So thank you, Senator Wakai, for connecting us to Paul. And thank you. Everybody was connecting, trying to figure out how can we create more opportunities for our communities? How can we make sure kids have access to high-powered machines, high-powered connectivity, so that they can be competitive and they can learn for our futures. I really want to thank everybody who has worked so hard on this, especially Leilani, Fairness. You are amazing. It would not have happened without all of your, when you said it took 6 months, a lot of projects like this take a year, and you really helped us get there faster, and so thank you so much. I think we should give her a applause. And I want to thank all of the partners who are investing in libraries. These are the future collections to create opportunities for our communities. And I definitely want to thank the legislature for passing SB 2214 and the governor for signing 2214 related to digital literacy and public libraries. This new lab, these new spaces that we're creating are just the beginning of digital literacy in our libraries to help our communities be successful. So thank you very much. Mahalo.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Somebody else that requires no introduction but has been very integral to the TRUE initiative. In fact, he spearheaded this effort to really help create demand for technology services in the islands, which helps, we talk about it a lot, but it helps create more jobs. It helps creates equitable wage. He's a friend and a mentor. He's also the former president of IBM Japan, so I'm kind of like a fan being in my position as president of a technology systems integrator, but chairman of TRUE executive director of TRUE and chairman of Central Pacific Bank. Without his support, none of this would have been possible. So Paul, please.
Thanks so much, Kelly. It's really nice. I'm so excited, and this is just fantastic. And, my thanks to, Leilani and Kelly as well, and Stacy, thanks so much. I just wanted to share something with you. When my son was about 20, I thought he was playing games too much. And I used to go home and I'd complain to him. And then all of a sudden one day he comes home and he goes, "Hey, Dad, I want to show you the PC I built." And I thought, "You built a PC?" And from that moment on, my whole viewpoint on esports and games just totally changed. I see so many skill sets that could be developed out of this endeavor that are real important life lessons for future careers. So I'm all in on all of this. Kelly and Leilani touched on the TRUE initiative. This was an initiative that we really kick-started in late 2019. We had this view that if we can tech-enable more workers, they can make a better living here in Hawaii, because the cost of living here is really expensive. We felt that if we can focus on demand generation among private sector organizations, that'd be good. But to really take it up a notch, it was about working closely with the state. And that's when I met with Len Higashi, Mike McCartney, and HTDC, DBED came in there. But really what made a huge difference was when I met with the governor, Governor Ige. And I said, "Governor, we need your commitment and support in working with the private sector to create demand here locally so that all these companies, AWS, Microsoft, Salesforce, and the list goes on and on, that they will be interested in investing in the state of Hawaii." And we had his word, and that's when we started. It was about 4 months before COVID, right? And we went through really tough times during COVID, but we had a lot of great virtual events. And now we're, looking at new initiatives like this today, something that was unimaginable. So with that, I don't want to talk too long because we've got to go to the games right away, right? I'd like to call up the governor of the state of Hawaii, David Ige, who really planted the seeds for us to get this whole thing started. So Governor, please.
Thanks, Paul. I truly appreciate that introduction. But I did want to add, Paul has been chairman of Central Pacific Bank now for about 2 years? 4 years, sorry. Boy, time really flies, because I remember I was there when you began. But I don't know how many of you saw Forbes magazine, but Central Pacific Bank is the #1 bank in the state of Hawaii. He beat out Bank of Hawaii, First Hawaiian. And Paul, I don't know when the last time it was a non-Bank of Hawaii or non-First Hawaiian bank that was the #1 bank in the state of Hawaii. So I really wanted to thank Paul for his leadership and his commitment. Paul and I have known each other for much, much too long. We go back a long ways, but I am so excited about this initiative. When Paul came to talk to me about TRUE, about the whole notion of we need to tech enable our community so we can create jobs locally. And then just talking about this whole notion of accelerating esports and the tech lab here in the community, in Stacy's Waipahu Library, was the perfect response. In the State of the State, I talked about Apaka Kala, the broadband network that we're committed for the first time in the state of Hawaii, a generational investment to bring fiber connectivity, broadband to every single of the major islands. We're building a network so that we can tie all of the 51 libraries together with broadband capacity so that every community can have something like what we are experiencing here today. It is so important to give all of our residents the opportunity to see the future and participate in the future. And I really wanted to congratulate everyone involved with this TRUE Esports and the Tech Lab here. This is the first, hopefully, of 50 others that will follow, because I truly do believe it should be in each and every community. It's exciting to see high-powered personal computers here in the library that can provide a platform to access esports and this learning opportunity. And as Kelly had mentioned, this becomes the classroom of the future. It really does bring together all the components so that residents in this community can see what the future might hold, can learn about careers that might be possible, and most importantly, can truly participate in a productive way to engage in esports in the future. I really do want to acknowledge all the partners, state partners, DBED and HCDC that has been instrumental, and on the private sector side, Paul and the team that really came together to provide us this opportunity. It really is something that, there are many projects that you are kind of connected to and work on, but we will all see that this is one of those that truly exceed expectations. It really gives this community, and hopefully all communities, an opportunity to see tech careers and really pursue them in an earnest way. And I have to admit, as the geek in chief, I learned to code and program by myself as a junior in high school. And I don't want to date myself, but it was about Atari, and the Commodore 64 was the platform of choice, right? I learned to code. I was trying to build that next Pong game as a high school student and as a University of Hawaii student, because my dream always was to become that next great game developer. And now, in this community, all of those pieces and support will be available so that the next generation of youngsters can be exposed and really pursue it in a way that's real. And so congratulations to everybody. I don't want to be the impediment to watching what you guys are really here for, but I'm excited because who knows, I might not have been governor if this was available in Pearl City when I was a junior in high school. My wife keeps saying I really should have built that next game, But suddenly the lights went off. Maybe this is what my future holds, is I am going to dive in headfirst in this true sports and esports opportunity, and most importantly, what the Tech Lab brings to our community. So congratulations to everyone involved.
Thank you so much, Governor Ige. I mean, I cannot tell you how much, the similarities of even myself. I started on a Commodore 64, not developing, but playing on a Commodore 64. So with that, thank you very much. We're getting close to the action, but as I was mentioning earlier, I wanted to make a special introduction with the people that we brought in the esports community together. My co-host and fellow shoutcaster. Today will be my first time, so I mentioned color commentary. So if you're familiar with like the NFL, this is like the Joe Buck of esports in Hawaii, and I would be more of a Troy Aikman. But Kyler's story is inspiring, as Leilani was saying. He's a local boy, previously worked as a shipyard mechanic at Pearl Harbor. And in 2018, he started his own firm, EMP Live Designs, to do freelance esports production while employing a production staff. So when I walked in, I was completely blown away at how the commitment to excellence in how they deliver this product. It's much like when we watch, Riot Games, if you're familiar. Like, these are real productions that happen almost daily online with about 30,000 viewers. I mean, the more popular Twitch streamers, worldwide have about 30,000 viewers daily. That's as much people as it can go watch the Lakers play. So the opportunity, again, is real. And we're lucky to have Kyler. Today, Kyler produces collegiate esports full-time while doing freelancing on the side to help grow Hawaii esports along with other projects and, again, the other opportunities that follow, I think, by using esports as the catalyst. Some of the other larger local projects he's worked on included the video game room at KawaiiCon, which is Hawaii's version of Comic Con, if you will. I wore a special Star Wars shirt for the occasion, but it's become a big deal, and it's a very big production that requires a lot of talent and know-how to put on, especially because it's live event streaming that happen online. So the talent that has to be involved with not only playing, but getting the message out to the world is critical to that production. His company, EMP Live, will be live streaming the exhibition match, which I think will be highly competitive. So with that, Kyler Tandle.
Right on. Well, thank you, Kelly, for the glowing introduction. Earlier, when we were rehearsing this, Kelly told me that he was going to give me a glowing recommendation or a glowing introduction, so I appreciate that. But yeah, thank you, everybody, for attending and for being here and being a part of this event. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Paul, and all the other special guests for attending. But really, I just want to start off by saying, events like this are truly incredible for me to watch. As somebody that grew up in the local esports scene, when I got started in 2014, 2015, we didn't have this, right? It was us in a dimly lit room in a gaming cafe, having fun, just enjoying the games themselves. And to look at where we've come to now is really something really incredible. The growth of the esports industry and the awareness of it all is something that I think is really cool. And hopefully we get to show you guys a little piece of that today as we progress to the exhibition match and so on and so forth. But really today, so for those of you that are wondering, okay, so what are we watching? What's about to happen? We are now moving into what I think you'd consider more traditional esports broadcasts, right? The flow of it all and everything. So real quickly, I'll just explain to you for those that don't know, right? We're playing League of Legends today. So as it stands, this is what they call a MOBA, or a multiplayer online battle arena. There'll be a video that'll go over it a little bit more in the details, but basically I want you guys to think of this as almost like a strategy game, right? These are 5 players going up against 5 players, and they're going to be making decisions on both a micro and a macro scale, meaning split second, half a second decisions, and also planning for the game as it unfolds, right? It's not a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute experience, but really start to finish, there's a lot of strategy, there's a lot of thinking that goes into it, and this isn't something that they just show up, do something, and they're out, right? There really is a lot of planning. There's a lot of things that goes along with that. So with that said, I just wanted to open that up, preface it, welcome you all, but I'll give the mic back to Kelly so that we can bring in another special guest.
Thank you very much, Kyler. So, oh yeah, thanks, Kyler. Thank you so much. No, with that, so like as I was making the reference of, you know, Kyler being the Joe Buck of Hawaii Esports and Troy Aikman, we got somebody like who's a player and then served as a coach for University of Hawaii Esports. So I guess with that, I wouldn't call him like the Michael Jordan. I would more say like he's the Ja Morant of UH Esports, and we got him to show up today and help us. He's been instrumental to the production, from helping me get the gaming rig set up, from getting the teams together. We really appreciate his support. So JJ Nanquil, he'll be helping us introduce one of the other teams.
Thank you, Kelly, for the introduction. Hello, everybody. My name is Janelle JJ Nanquil, and I am the esports coach for TRUE. I want to thank both my mentors, Sky and Leilani, for helping me out with this position and also providing these PCs as well. This is a great opportunity for the community as a whole and for esports in Hawaii, right? It's amazing. I've been coaching for UH Esports since 2019, so about 3 years, and now I'm coaching for TRUE. So it's an amazing opportunity, and I love this.
Thanks, JJ.
Yep.
So with that, I think we'll be now introducing the talented players coming through the doors. So please, JJ, Kyler, take it away.
Yeah, so before we bring them out, we do want to give you guys the little bit of a heads up that these are mixed teams. So this means that these guys aren't just from one location combined, right? They are a true representation of the wide community that we have here in Hawaii. So with that said, and all of that, you know, we'll stop talking now. Let's bring out the players.
So you see right here all the players coming in right now. 10 players, 6 of them from the University of Hawaii Esports team, 3 of them from HPU, and 1 from the University of Hawaii at West Oahu. They'll introduce the teams right now as we go along.
We have coined them Team Lilac. So starting in our first position is going to be Tanner Kawamura in-game. He goes by Atomic Shadow. Tanner is also a recent graduate of one of my classes. He's taken a production class in Esports 101. He got an A, I think, in it, right, Tanner? You got an A? Yep. So congratulations to Tanner. That's our first player of the day. Next up behind him is going to be John Lee. So John Lee in-game goes by the Noob 27. And according to what they said, so I asked them to give me a fun fact earlier. They told me John needs help with his posture, that he plays lying down. I don't know how you do that, John, but they said he plays lying down. So that's John. Next up in our third slot is going to be Tracy Lee. She also comes from UH Esports. In-game, she goes by Cinnamon. And she told me she's been playing this game for over 7 years. So really, dedication to her game, dedication to League. So everybody, Tracy Lee. All right, next up, following that, this guy, this one I know a little bit more familiar with. As you can see, Nevin, turn around real quick. This is Nevin Isaiah Pack, a.k.a. Pack Games 808. He's representing UH Esports, and he also streams on Twitch, by the way. So when we talk about, you know, streaming and all of this tech initiatives, this is actually one of the guys that does have a Twitch channel, does stream. So once again, Nevin Isaiah Pack. And then last but certainly not least, we have our very special representative from UH West Oahu in Melanie Denda. In-game, she goes by My Heart's Yours, and she is also rounding out our roster. So when we say community roster, that's it. So everybody, Team Lilac.
All right, now time to introduce Team Amber. With player 1, we have Donald Yu coming in from UH Esports. He also goes by Unician. And he is, actually, fun fact about him, he's actually the highest ranked player out of all these players. We told him to don't go too hard on the players, just have a little fun. Next, coming in from HPU, we have Micah Murakami. His in-game name is Japanese Jungler, age 19. Fun fact, he is Japanese and he's a jungler. Next, we have Kavi'i Ikioka coming in from UH Esports, age 19, and he is the blank. Fun fact, he does jiu-jitsu for fun after he beats people on League. Next, from HPU, we have William Rebello Garnas, age 18. He goes by Mindless Electron. Fun fact, he's been playing this game for about 4 or 5 years, so he's also just as experienced as Tracy. Last but not least, coming in from HPU, we have Sean Kanata. In-game name is I'm Not Vegan. Fun fact, I'm sure he is not vegan. Yep, that is Team Lilac, everybody. All right, now time to pass it over to Kelly.
Thanks, everybody. So, as you know, the highly competitive nature of esports, to kind of retain player integrity, we're now graciously asking everybody to exit the room as the players take their positions. The stream will be readily available outside, and Kyler and I are going to start doing our thing. So, thank you, everybody.
All right, so you can see there people are starting to exit out, and of course the game will be available outside. But again, for those that don't know, we're here at the TRUE Esports Plus Tech Lab opening at Waipahu Public Library. Keegan Ota here from ESPN Honolulu, bringing you all the action as well as some interviews. We're going to attempt to bring a few people on, including Leilani Farinas, Executive Director of TRUE, out here to open us up here, and we'll try to get as many people as we can out here to kind of go over what has been going on. But you saw Governor Ige earlier on there talking about the broadband network initiative, talking about that and trying to make sure that everything is readily available for high-speed internet. I mean, already you've got Hawaiian Telecom here doing their magic at about 1 gigabyte speed with fiber internet, so pretty cool there. But to get the whole state into it and kind of get this more into the broadlight would be great. And of course, you heard others mentioning this as well. The public library system getting involved with this is the first one of a potential 33, or actually of all the libraries that are potentially going to open up to a TRUE Esports and Tech Lab. This is just the first of many, so people are filing out right now, and we're going to try to attempt to get somebody on here. League of Legends, by the way, for those that don't know, they're going to show a short video here in a little while. In the meantime, though, we'll bring it back to our split cam as you can see what they're getting ready for, and of course, the seat right next to me is empty as we get somebody on. But right now, if you take a look at it, you've got the potential here for a lot of good things going on. Of course, 5 computers here. Overwatch can be played as well now. Overwatch 2 starting on October 4th, early access. Overwatch 2 starting to become more of an esport here in Hawaii, because obviously 5 playoffs have happened here for last season in the 2021, where there was the COVID pandemic that kind of brought back any chances that there could be for a big event, an esports event inside of an arena. And I will point out that the one of the matches for the Overwatch League was held in the Barclays Center, home of some New York teams there, including the Rangers. So it's gotten that big into the Overwatch League. And League of Legends playing in one of the famous arenas a couple years back, if I can remember correctly, Beijing 2018, or I believe it was 2019. They played in the all-famous Bird's Nest for the World Championships in there, a couple 80,000 full inside of the Bird's Nest to watch the World Championships. So this is how big it's gotten. You can see, again, people filing out from the inside room, and this is where they'll start setting up for the game. And again, we'll bring you the game coverage. We'll bring you the custom game. You can see the governor talking to some of the University of Hawaii esports teams, players there, and they're just coming on out, and outside area looking very nice as well. All of the seats were taken up during the opening ceremony, and they're now just they're kind of just filing out, making sure that they can get pictures. Press as well, looking for some interviews too. And you saw KITV 4 up there with their microphone at the podium. It shows you how big some of this media wants to bring this out. Starting lineups again for you. 6 players from the University of Hawaii esports team, 3 players from HPU. HPU, by the way, has the esports arena down by Aloha Tower that you can go visit, and of course 1 from the University of Hawaii at West Oahu, aka Pueo Gaming. Start off on the Lilac side. The way they came in was a little bit differently, and the way they introed was a little different as well, but we'll give you the lanes here as they start off the video. So we'll give you the lineups here, and for those that don't know, we'll cut this off a little bit through, but let's take a look and listen. If you don't know how League of Legends is played, let's check it out.
That sounds straightforward, but how you get there isn't. So let's walk you through the basics. You'll start by choosing one champion from a list of many, all of whom have their own unique strengths and personalities. Some are ranged marksmen, pelting their opponents from a safe distance, or burly fighters who like to get up in their opponents' faces. Others are arcane mages, casting powerful spells to trap and damage their enemies. However you like to get things done, there's a champion out there to match your style. During the game, champions get stronger in two ways, the first of which is leveling up. You gain experience by being in the area when enemies die, and each level of experience gives you an ability point. Assign these points as you level up to unlock all of your abilities and make them stronger. At level 6, you can unlock your ultimate ability, which can change the tide of the game. The second way to get stronger is buying items. Items are bought at the shop in your base using gold earned from killing enemies during a match. Once you've bought an item, it goes straight into your inventory and you immediately gain its benefits and power up. If you don't know which items to buy, you can check the recommended tab in the store for some pretty good stuff for your champion. Once you know your way around the shop, feel free to experiment with different item combos as you develop your own style. But if you ever get lost, the recommended tab has your back. When you start the game, you and your team will appear in the fountain. This is also where you'll respawn if your champion dies. This is a pretty safe place that restores your health and mana and provides access to the shop we just talked about. You start off the game with some gold, so grab some items right away and return to the shop when you've earned enough to buy more or to upgrade items you already own. Once you've got your starting items, you'll head to one of the 3 lanes, commonly called bot for bottom, mid for middle, and top for top. Between the lanes is the jungle, a shadowy area filled with powerful monsters that can beat the heck out of an unprepared champion. Slaying these creatures will give you gold, experience, and some pretty sweet buffs. But they do fight back, so stay in the lanes until you feel strong enough to take them on. Each lane is a path between the 2 bases, guarded by a set of powerful turrets. You'll need to destroy your enemy's turrets to get into their base and take down their nexus. That's easier said than done though. Those turrets are perilous, and even the most powerful champion will melt if targeted by one. To safely take them down, you need to stay behind your minions. Minions are computer-controlled units that march relentlessly down all lanes, engaging any enemies in their path. Your opponents have minions too, and you're gonna want to stomp them. You'll get experience when they die, but only the killing blow, commonly called the last hit, will earn you gold, so time your attacks carefully. Once you and your minions push up to an enemy turret, you'll have a few moments to damage it while it attacks your minions. If you're in range of the turret without any minions around, it will attack you, so be aware of your position. Also, if you attack an enemy champion while in range of the turret, it will change its focus to attack you, even if your minions are around. Working with your minions to siege enemy turrets is your main objective if you're looking to crack
Okay,
their
so they're
base.
just talking about right now. They're just talking about how to play the game, obviously, and it's going a little more in depth. But right now, we'd like to welcome in Leilani Farinas here, and she's the executive director of TRUE as we bring her on here inside of our booth, right outside of the TRUE Esports Tech Lab. Leilani, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. And a wonderful event that has went on so far. Obviously, you had the governor, you had Paul Yonomine in as well. And, of course, a lot of important people inside this place. Talk to me about how this event came all together. I know they said 6 months was how they put this all together. Talk to me about how that came through in such a short amount of time.
Well, it's a whole lot of just learning and listening and meeting with people, with as many people as possible. And through that, it started formulating and became more solid in terms of what bringing esports into the library meant. Because that was the brief. Put esports in the library. And then it's like, well, I don't know we just can't put video games in there. We have to put structure. So this is how it came to be.
And it's a wonderful thing too. I mean, all of the seats were full here, as well as inside. It looked like a good time, and you see all the players logging in right now, and you have the high performance computers, 5 from HPU, and of course 5 that from PAXA that are going to be here in this esports lab as well. So let's talk about that, because I mean PAXA has been a big sponsor of this as well. So PAXA has been great. Kelly Ooko speaking at the podium as well, and just how big is this support? Like, you have so many. I mean, you can look at this banner right behind us at all the sponsors, right? I mean, Office Pavilion. Pavilion, EMP Live Designs, who Kyler was talking about, Hawaiian Telcom, PAXA. It's just a flurry of different sponsors. And how good is that for you guys? How big is that for you guys that so many sponsors and even the governor support this?
The sponsors help remove the obstacles to make this happen in a public space. Hawaiian Telcom came through with making sure the connectivity was there. Office Pavilion hooked up the furniture. PAXA, obviously, and Central Pacific Bank funded the hardware. But that's when public and private come together, and you can remove obstacles that typically would happen in a very bureaucratic situation.
And it's a great thing to have all the sponsors at the same time to have to kind of just think about the support from like UHE and HPU as well, and they've been coming in big. I know Niall Sky Kawiloa was in that video as well, and he's been big on esports. And fun fact, just got his doctorate this year as well. But I know UHE Sports and HPU support this initiative. So how great is it to have that university aspect too, that university pipeline?
Critical. They're the brain trust. So we come in and we provide the foundation, but the brain trust and really knowing the community, I take the lead and the leadership from Sky and Jordan over at HPU. It was super important because we're building this out for the youth, and they are the subject matter experts, and they're invested in it too.
And let's go to the future now, because obviously, I mean, you have this inaugural setup, you have the sponsors, and you have the university's pipeline support. Let's look towards the future now, and this will be the last question before I let you go here. What does the future look like? Because obviously, you have the public libraries' interest in it. The objectivity is to get all of the public libraries involved with this TRUE Esports Lab. For you, what is this end goal at the end of the day?
I want the person that lives in Waipahu to know that the library is here and it's accessible and it's nothing to be afraid of. We showed that it's absolutely possible to change your life and switch careers and go from a bartender or a waitress or a service job into a career in tech. And it's absolutely within reach. It's free of charge. You can take the lessons and earn your certification and go on a new career path and make more money.
Yeah, and career path very well open, like we said, like I mentioned before, $300 billion industry, and it's only going to grow from there. So I do appreciate some of your time, Leilani. Thank you very much, and we'll bring it back to the Olelo feed right now as we get set for the draft. Kelly Oka inside of the booth right now alongside Kyler Tandle. Let's go ahead and go to them real quick.
I should be sending you guys audio on my end.
Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any audio on our side, so we'll try to get things going here in a little while. But first, actually, let's take a picture real quick. Why not? Just taking a picture right here for our social media manager, Jaren Kobashigawa here. Got some good support here from the ESPN Honolulu family as well. And if you are just watching us, check it out. Of course, you're watching live here the introduction of the TRUE Esports and Tech Lab opening at the Waipahu Public Library. And got some things going on right now, and we're going to check in to see if we've got any audio. Doesn't appear that we have any audio being sent down our way, so we'll try to get that in the meantime. But when we do come here again, we'll have an open seat right now for any interviews that we have. We'll attempt to get Governor Ige on, as well as Niall Sky Kawiloa here. And it looks like there is audio, so why don't we bring it back to the guys right now?
The teams are getting ready. This is good. Okay, so we are good. So they can. So I think it's more so they can hear us outside now. Is what this was. I think stream might have been hearing us, but maybe not the guys in the overflow. So all right, we have this. So we'll use this for now to kind of get us rolling with the broadcast and whatnot. But as we can see it there, yep, here we are. The teams are getting ready. We actually, so they told me. The funny thing is, so you see JJ over here. So Amber actually got another coach from UH. So there wasn't. So we've got the coaches. So that if you guys are wondering who the guys are standing behind them and walking around, that is the coaches that are going to be walking them through the pick and ban.
Yeah, that's terrific. I mean, like I was saying earlier, this is the part, even strategically, as fans. Oh, here we go, and here's the draft, the live draft. So there is a phase where one team will actually get to ban certain champions that the other team will be unable to pick. And so that's the phase we're going through right now. And then shortly after that, they will highlight the champion that they would like to play with. And the draft happens in unison, so it's one at a time. So somebody just banned, I see the Evelyn ban happening there. So Evelyn is a champion in in the jungle usually. Oh, a Lulu band, so support band, which Kyla will say. I don't know if that's common, but
No,
please
yeah,
comment on
no,
that.
absolutely. And I think this is where. So for those of you that are wondering, at the
I mean, I can barely contain myself. Oh, the Ari band happening on this side, so mid lane.
I know.
And then the Twitch band on the other side. So Twitch is oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, Twitch is like I was mentioning, a range champion. So that's probably one of the players who will be using a range champion themselves. So.
Yeah, no, and I think so. One of the fun things about this, right, about what we're watching on the screen right now, is that at the professional level, right, this is always a very interesting part of the thing because there's certain characters that are always the strongest. Like, there's just the best as the game progresses, and the fun thing about the game is that they're always making these little changes, right? Certain characters get stronger, certain characters they make weaker, just to make the game more interesting, right? They call them patches and so on. And actually, we just had a patch that came through. But basically, that's what kind of affects what these guys pick.
All right, so as of right now, what they're talking about is the starting lineups here for their side. And right now, as we're going along here, they are picking their champions. But in tournament mode, it's for those that don't know this game, tournament mode brings you a little bit of a different style. Everybody bans. It's 3 bans on each side first. It'll be 3 bans to start, and then when you get down to the picks, you can pick whatever you want in whatever order. But the problem is, after that, you don't know who. I mean, you know the lanes at this point, so each of their characters know what's being picked, and you know that their lanes are coming in. So right now, as it stands, 3v3 bans. On the Amber side, you got Lulu, Orin, and Ari band. Blue side of Lilac, Evelyn, and Twitch band as well. They're picking their champions, again, which can go in any order. So you're going to assume here that Ziggs is probably or Ziggs is being drafted out right now, and that's going to go on the ADC side, which will be an interesting play. Irelia probably going to land up inside of the mid lane for Tracy Lee, aka Cinnamon, and I should say Nami is going to land up in the hands of My Heart's Yours, Melanie Denda, out of the SO player from the University of Hawaii, West Oahu, will land up at support, meaning that the only champions left to pick now for Lilac are top lane and jungle. For Amber's side, you've got Lilia, you've got Senna, and Wukong. And Senna's probably going to be your support champion. That will go to I'm Not Vegan, Sean Kanata of HPU. And now they're just banning out right now. Let's go to the full feed and check that out. We won't take their audio, but we will see what's going on. It looks like Volibear will be out for the side of Amber, which is good if you're Amber, because one of the top 3 champions for Amber side is Volibear from Pack Games 808 in the jungle. Brings you a lot of damage out. And so right now, they're going to ban Jinx out. So Jinx not one of the top 3 on this side for the Amber, although it gets rid of their end. So right now, we're just going to bring it back to our ends and bring it. Actually, you know what? What we'll do is we'll take it to their audio right now, as we'll try to get another interview in, and we'll try to figure out who goes where inside of their lanes, and we'll be right back. Give us just a couple of moments.
They might change up their roles. That's another fun thing of like, traditionally, yes, you'll be a career, AD carry or a jungler, a top laner, all these different roles and all these different responsibilities. But as it stands, these guys have the option to kind of move around, right? Because of the nature of this event, because of what we're watching, these guys will be able to change some stuff up. And who knows, right? We'll see what's going on. I mean, strategically, for those of you that do watch the game, I'm curious about the Lilia and the Wukong here on Team Amber's side. Yeah, traditionally, either one of them could be jungle, right? We've seen Wukong jungle recently. He has been played a lot. But, at the same time, laning Lilia is a thing, right? Laning Wukong is a thing. So either way, this could go. And all right, and then obviously with the lock-in now, Sivir being an AD carry, so a champion that does a lot of attack damage, right? She does a lot of her stuff through just basic auto attacks and things like that. Bottom lane locked in for Team Amber. Still to be determined on Team Lilac side.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So just more context if you missed the introduction to League of Legends. So there is a wild card in all this in the 5v5 called the jungle, and so there is a champion that stays in a portion of the map that really cannot be seen by any of the laners until they reveal themselves. So if you're 1v1 in the top and or mid lane, there is a time when the jungler could just appear and try to 2v1 the opposing player. Now, good players know, and they have map awareness. They know where the other jungler is and kind of what they're doing. So it's in higher competition, it's pretty rare to see the 2v1 death occur more often than not. So it's going to be fireworks, I think, with that team. I mean, and, these champions, there are varying degrees of complexity and skill of what it takes.
All right, we'll take it back here in just a little while, but first and foremost, I have a very important guest with us. This is Governor David Ige here with us here on ESPN Honolulu's Facebook and YouTube page. Governor, how are you doing?
I'm doing terrific.
And
Thanks.
thank you very much for joining us here. And I know that you were talking about different initiatives. We'll go through that first. The broadband network initiative that you were talking about, give us a little bit more of what you plan to do with that.
Absolutely. The federal government, as part of the infrastructure bill, is making funds available to make sure that broadband gets to every single community. So Hawaii is blessed because we've been ahead of the game. We were amongst the first states to connect all of our public schools to broadband, and we connected all our public libraries. So this is the largest investment in broadband in the state's history. We anticipate that we would get more than $400 million. The one difference we're making is, typically the broadband network has been driven by economics. The private sector guys are investing in the large communities because they can make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
We're committed to taking broadband to all of the major islands. So for the first time, we're going to provide fiber connectivity to Molokai and Lanai so that all of the major islands have broadband connectivity. And we are positioned to leverage all of the funds we're getting. As you know, the Hawaiian Homes Commission got funds intended for indigenous peoples. We are building, taking funds for public housing, making sure that we can get connectivity there. And then, layering on all of the normal monies that we get for universities as well as public schools. So we're excited because we believe we would be able to deliver a network to all of the major islands that can reach all of the individuals all across the state.
And that's great news as well for everybody that enjoys the internet, and I'm assuming that's everybody here with all the iPhones and all the phones and stuff. But let's talk about a little bit about the STEM initiative here with esports as well, because I know you're a big supporter of it. I'll disclaimer out there, I'm one of the MCs at the Vex Robotics tournaments here in Hawaii as well, and I know you came out here one of the years with the Kamehameha tournaments and different state tournaments as well, and I know you're a big supporter of STEM. With esports now involved in the STEM area, talk to me about how big the STEM initiative is getting here in Hawaii.
We do a terrific job here in the islands of expanding the STEM projects to really reach each and every community. As you know, we have the most active robotics program in the country. We've expanded besides just the first to VEX and all the other opportunities. I do expect that esports can be just as big as robotics, and I do believe that we'll end up being a leader in that as well.
And you're talking about like different expansion optics as well. I mean, obviously coming through, you have that everybody's been talking about the new Aloha Stadium Entertainment District that went through as well. And while we won't talk about that, we'll talk about like the aspect of what it could be when it grows bigger. I mean, an esports arena potential in there as well, trying to bridge, and this whole thing about TRUE bringing together they talk about bringing together East Asia and Hawaii, and you were at the first flight from Japan.
Yes.
When they came in, and so that must have been a breath of fresh air for you when they all came in on that big airplane from JAL. So let's talk about that. Last question for you, just the bridge between East Asia and Hawaii. How important is that to you, and now how does that impact here in the esports realm?
Well, Asia is rabid gamers,
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So what better opportunity for Hawaii to be able to connect competitors from the East with the competitors from the West? And, we've always talked about the geography of Hawaii, and we should be in the middle. But because of our connectivity and the fact that we have extensive travel networks and people can come here, it would be the perfect location. For East meets West. Esports tournaments can be held anywhere, but obviously if we're here in the middle of the Pacific, we would have access to the best esports players from Asia and Korea and all of those,
Oh, yeah.
China, and the best in the West. So I really am excited about that opportunity. I think most importantly, it's a perfect natural environment. Maybe when you're gaming, you don't care about where you're at, right, for the duration of the game. But clearly, it would be better to be in Hawaii than Nevada.
Yeah.
And that's 110
It's so
degrees.
hot up there, yeah.
Absolutely.
We love it. We love it down here in paradise with the weather, and this would be a perfect place for everybody to gather, right?
Absolutely.
I got one more question for you. You gonna go in there afterwards and play some games?
Well, I'm definitely going to watch. I don't know if I'm capable of playing these new games. They're really fancy. That's all I can say.
Governor, I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. Thank you so much.
Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you very much. Governor Ige with you, and we'll take you back to the game right now.
For those watching, I mean, this is incredible. Those players or those champions, you need skill to play Seraphine in the top lane. She's usually a support player.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, so for those of you that don't know, or so as we were talking about, right, champions that have the lanes that normally go, we expect them to go in certain positions, right? You expect certain characters to be played in certain ways. Seraphine laning, Seraphine top, not all that common, and so
not common at all. And so they're the red team. They're taking jungle with leash. So what they're doing, the bottom laners are helping their jungle get a level up higher, faster by helping him kill that jungle monster. So
teamwork a big part of it.
A huge part. Already we see a little bit of the top lane getting pushed in a little bit. And here's my prediction, right? I think the kill's gonna happen down there. First blood might be happening down there. I gotta say, I gotta comment on the direction camera. Legal just does a great job with that. Okay, holy smokes, there's a lot of action.
So actually, fun point about that, since you bring that up. Believe it or not, so I think Henry had it on there, but we actually do bring in an observer. So that's actually one of the potential jobs in esports. It's kind of like that in-game camera observer, right? I think that, to me, that's been one of the fun things watching this weekend with all of the Ololo guys as they've been planning all the camera shots. We do a similar thing, but there's also that, but on the in-game side. And that's something I don't think a lot of people realize, is that it's an art to it, and there's a job. Like, here's a gang.
Here's a 2v1 gang coming from the jungle. Let's see what happens. Oh, ability flashes out. Oh my gosh, excellent flash and good gank attempt.
I love how excited you're getting over this.
Hey, this is serious, man. So, when you watch professionals play League of Legends, a lot of times, those kill counts are very low. So, again, if you didn't catch the introduction, each champion can, quote-unquote, die, and then they go to a respawn period. So when they lose all their health from another champion or from a jungle animal or whatever, they die, and then they respawn again. However, those deaths mean a lot to the other players. It helps them gain competitive advantage by getting gold and then buying items to make themselves stronger than the other players. So here's another jungle. We got a lot of action happening here.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see.
Oh, they saw him coming. So if you notice those little things getting dropped, you see one right there at the top of the screen.
All right, so we'll take you back to the games here in a little while. You can see Lilac and Amber going at it right now. I'll give you your lineups here in just a second. Or actually, give it to you right now for blue side. On the left side of your screen for Lilac, you have the new John Lee, 19 years old from the University of Hawaii Esports. Gragas playing top lane jungle. You've got playing Diana, Pack Games 808, a.k.a. Nevin Isaiah Pack. Irelia is Cinnamon. Tracy Lee playing Irelia in mid lane. Ziggs will be your ADC, one of the two people inside of that bottom lane. That's Atomic Shadow, a.k.a. Tanner Kawamura. And Nami played as the support for My Heart's courtesy of My Heart's Yours, a.k.a. Melanie Denda, helping out that Ziggs of Atomic Shadow. Red side of Amber, you've got Eunice and Donald Yu playing Seraphine, 19 years old, out of the University of Hawaii Esports team. Lily, and three players here on the Amber team from HPU. First of them is in the jungle, Micah Murakami playing Lilia, and in the mid lane, Wukong, Kaivi Akioka, the blank from the UH Esports team, playing Wukong in mid. ADC side, you've got, or bottom lane, I should say, 2 players. Sivir being played by William Robello Garnos from our HPU, minus Selectron, his name in-game. And I'm Not Vegan, Sean Kanata playing Senna as the support. He also reigns from HPU. But 6 players on this list from the University of Hawaii esports team. And speaking of which, right next to me, we have the all-important, I should say all-important doctorate degree now, or Dr. Kawiloa, if you will, as he just got his doctorate degree. Welcome into the broadcast now, Niall Scott Kawiloa. He is the director of UH Esports. And Sky, how are you doing on this fine day?
Absolutely. I'm just sort of blown away by all the attention this event is given, or is being given. Once again, also good to see you, Keegan. It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. I think the last time we saw each other was probably the Overwatch League thing.
Absolutely.
Last year. The playoffs, right?
Yeah,
and let's start off with that because they are coming back here for the mid-season madness. In fact, I think they're starting to pile in tomorrow. I think it is July 15th as the tournament kicks off on July 18th. And you're going to have more teams than ever now. You're going to have 8 teams coming here, all from the west side. 4 teams, 12 total teams, by the way. If you don't know the Overwatch League, 12 teams playing in this mid-season tournament. And yeah, imagine if the NBA had a mid-season tournament. Oh, they might. But in the esports realm for Overwatch League, you'll have 12 teams, 4 of them playing from Asia. And because of COVID restrictions, they're going to try to get as close as possible to Asia without going into Asia. So guess where that destination happens to be? In the middle of the Pacific
What a
Ocean.
coincidence.
What a coincidence that it happens to be. And they're playing at the University of Hawaii in Manoas, and Sky is the director of UH Esports, like we've been saying. So Sky, let's talk about that real quick. How big was it when you first got the ask a year ago? I think it's about a year ago at this point because I think it was back in May that they all started this off. Let's say it started in April, maybe before that in March. Or so. How far did that go back? January. Okay,
Yeah.
let's in January. Give me your reaction to getting that message from the Overwatch League saying, hey, we are interested in coming down.
I mean, when I first got the call, I thought it was a prank. I honestly thought it was a prank call because, of course, you imagine the Overwatch League going to Madison Square Garden, the Key Arena.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Staples. You know, but for them to say like we'd like to come to your iLab to hold the season, I mean, it just didn't make sense. But after I figured out it wasn't a prank call, I was very curious to know, like, yeah, let's try this out. I did risk a lot because I thought it would not work. But I wanted the Overwatch League to come to UH Manoa and to actually show us what we didn't have, right? And so they came, they showed us what we didn't have. Of course, you know, we were supposed to be, you know, I imagine the capacity of our iLab to produce something that was somewhat decent when it came to ping, but we couldn't, right? We were hitting 120 milliseconds of ping of transmission in our first game, and that was undoable for them. Then they said, can you swing that down? And we were able to, but it was still 90 milliseconds. And I thought, still, that's undoable. But for the Overwatch League, that was actually something they could work with. And after that, we said, okay, we can hold it at that. And after that, that was the green light for talks.
And what a big thing it was. I mean, you got so much out there with the University of Hawaii esports team. I know you had a couple of students go out there kind of producing content with the team as well. Like, obviously, the translators were out there as well. You guys even had a luau out there during one of the playoff sections as well. So it kind of brings out the highlight of Hawaii. So with the Overwatch League coming down, getting a little bit more recognition in Hawaii, and now you have this TRUE Esports Lab bringing in. When you heard about this one, how big in this initiative were you?
You know, for the TRUE initiative, it was amazing because I think Leilani has really blown it out of the water when it comes to showcasing the breadth and the broad scope of the community and what we can do when we come together. When I first heard about it, I was actually, you know, committed. I thought this needed to be something that needed to be done because we needed to move the attention of esports at least a little bit away from where it was being situated. Again, of course, UH Manoa is a fantastic place to have sports and to have esports as an activity, and also HPU. But to have it situated in Waipahu, in the library, in an area, in a community that's often underdeserved or underrepresented when it comes to technology use and gaming, was something that I was completely on the board with from the very beginning. And again, for me, when I heard about this initiative, I also thought we needed to make connections with our students to True, and that's why I wanted to have JJ as part of that initiative. And JJ has just done a fantastic job in working with this.
And you talk about the students getting involved, and I think Leilani came in earlier here on our booth and talked about the pipeline between the University of Hawaii as well as all these youth students. So talk about that. I mean, now you guys have sort of this pipeline going on with all of the public libraries that might be involved as well. You got all of the state public libraries, and for you guys to be able to help out there and have your name on this banner, have your name all over the place on the True Esports Lab, having this sort of thing to maybe look at, how big is this for the University of Hawaii esports as a whole?
For this and for University of Hawaii Esports, it's huge just because it continues the mission that I believe is going to be important as we move forward for the 2022-2023 season, is that we want to do more outreach. And we want to bring more players onto our team and into our program in a way that is diversifying their interests with esports. And so, again, for this True initiative, right, they're going to have a team, they're going to have players that are going to do game development, but they're also going to have streaming, content creation, and a host of programming that sits outside of necessarily just competition. And that's important for UH Esports because the next iteration of UH Esports is going to be that we want to build out our content creation side, our streaming content, our streaming side. We want to actually get students involved in our program that don't necessarily see or identify themselves as necessarily esports players, but at the same time love to either spectate, create content, associate with, or socialize in this domain, which is really a domain that intersects with a lot of different sort of youth cultures, right? Could be the manga crowd, could be the anime crowd, it could be the K-pop crowd, and again, it could be just people who love video games. So I think for UH Esports, for this next season, for this next year, it's to further diversify what we're offering to students. And True is a part of this, I think. Yeah.
And last question for you, because, I mean, you talk about how big this is and how big True is, how big UH Esports is. At the end of the day, though, looking towards the future, for you personally, as the director of UH Esports or as a sponsor of this whole True initiative, what is your goal at the end of the day here starting from this Esports Lab?
I think for this day moving forward, it's going to be greater integration between UH Esports and the True Initiative Esports Lab. And I think for that to happen is, number one, I want to bring more students out, right? I want to bring more students out to this Waipahu library. I want the library itself to understand that, you know, what we're doing is part of the community. I mean, one of the first things I did when I came in, I was donated some books, right? I had about 10 books from a personal friend of mine, Dr. Baro Hyun, who is a PhD in neuroscience, but he actually has done a lot with esports in Japan. And so, you know, for me, coming here and that donation, it was one of the first moves I wanted to make, is to say, like, I'm here not to just take, but I'm here to give. I'm here to bring people here. I'm here to bring resources here. And so that's what I see as we move forward.
And what a vision that is. I mean, hopefully with I was talking with Governor Ige, hopefully with the NACID thing going around and maybe getting in that new entertainment district, right, a new esports arena, having that big thing go in there. But that would be for the future. But right now, the True Esports Plus Tech Lab opening up here at Waipahu Library with the help of University of Hawaii Esports. Sky Kawiloa here, director of UH Esports. Thank you very much for some of your time, and good luck in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you in the Overwatch stuff coming up here in a little while as well.
Keegan.
Take you back to the game here, and we'll get somebody else here in just a second.
You really can't see unless you have those wards placed strategically.
And worth noting too, right? All the timing of that is what I think ends up being the determinant factor, right? For Team Lilia or Team Lilac, I'm sorry, that's going to be confusing. I just realized we have Team Lilac, but there's a Lilia in the lobby. But for Team Lilac, right? They just they get to the fight a little bit late, right? A little bit staggered.
Little late, yeah.
Pack Games, Nevin not able to get there fast enough, not able to support Tracy or Cinnamon, right? And because of that, it gives them the team fight victory. It gives the Team Amber the kills. It gives them the neutral objective in the Rift Herald. And now, first brick, aka the first turret to fall, is almost down in the mid lane, and that's going to open up the map for Team Amber.
Yes, sir. So the turret's falling. In case we missed the introduction, but the turret, if an enemy player comes into turret range, it does a considerable amount of damage automatically. So hence why we see players kind of congregating around their turret, because if the enemy player enters turret range, it does help them considerably in terms of damage to the opponent.
Yeah, no, it could be, does give them that advantage, does give all of these these small incremental advantages over to the teams, and over time, that's what ends up building up is now team fight.
And here we have another 3v3 happening.
But here comes
flashes
Packins around the
everywhere.
backside.
Oh, the Lilia all drowsing and sleeping Ziggs too far away. And we see a stopwatch built earlier, so if you do, oh, wow.
Yeah. Immediately shut down coming in, but the TP around the backside means that Gragas is going to come into the fight
Wow.
now. Nuke flashes forward, gets a little bit of damage, but they're forced back. Instead, Atomic Shadow trying to get some damage out on the backside, not able to do it, and that means Team Amber comes up with a huge team fight win, 3 for 1.
3 for 1, yeah, even with that stopwatch. I should mention that item known as the stopwatch and Zanya's Hourglass is highly controversial because people feel it's a little bit too overpowered. But so for a period of time, when you push the button, it prevents your champion from any damage. So as the team fights occurring, it can be very disruptive to the other team. Causing, you can change
and
it.
right now you can see the scoreline going on right now, 9-4 in terms of kill for Amber. While we were away talking with Sky, if you were watching that, 2 dragons already killed. That would be Cloud Dragon and Fire Dragon being killed. So that's 2 dragons you need. If you know the game in depth a little bit more, 4 dragons brings you into a soul, which basically gives you a little bit more buffs. And actually, the guy right next to me knows more about each one. He's actually a coach for the University of Hawaii esports team, now turning into a coach for the TRUE Waipahu Public Library team as well. JJ Nanquil joining us here on the broadcast. And JJ, what a day it has been so far here inside of the Waipahu Public Library with all the eyes. You can see all the eyes watching the game, as well as everybody that was watching the opening ceremony. Give me your reactions to seeing all this to start.
Well, first off, Keegan, thank you for inviting me onto your show, and thank you for coming to this event. And honestly, my first reaction, especially from the very beginning to now, it's just very excited. Like it's hope, right? It gives you hope, like esports in Hawaii can be a legit possibility for a lot of people my age and for the youth, right? So I'm glad to be part of this program because it's a step forward. It's a trailblazing project, right? A step forward to providing for the youth and for the adults and for everybody here in Hawaii.
And you used that word trailblazing in our previous interview, and we pre-interviewed him earlier as well just to get some things out. But you keep using the word trailblazing, which I think is a wonderful word in this case because you're looking at different aspects of what's going on. And this is the first public library to have this esports lab, and they want to expand into all the public libraries. And that's certainly gettable now that you have all these sponsors involved. So taking a look at behind you with all the sponsors and everybody's support going on, even the governor came here. For you as a student coach, but going into coaching here for this TRUE team, what is that envisionary for you to moving forward? Like, what do you envision here with everything that has gone on starting from today?
So my vision, honestly, is to basically have a pipeline from, middle school, high school, all the way to collegiate, and have most likely, esports companies here or tech companies here. My vision is to have a future for Hawaii's population, community overall. It doesn't matter where you're from. Anybody, you can come from Big Island or Kauai or Maui, or and then you can have access to these PCs, right? These state-of-the-art PCs, be able to get a collegiate scholarship for esports or for content creation, and then go to UH Manoa or HPU or even go to the mainland, right? That's my goal. That's why I say that this is the trailblazing project, because this is the first step into achieving that goal and to help basically built up the community here in Hawaii.
Yeah, and we know that Hawaii has been a big part of League of Legends in gaming. I mean, go back all the way to a couple of years ago when PC Gamers had their tournaments and you watched League of Legends on their side, and now it's expanded into all of this where you see the governor involved, where you see other people involved, other sponsors like Central Pacific Bank involved as well. And so my last question to you as we take a good couple minutes of your time is, as a coach now for these teams, what is the goal for the youth when it comes around, right? When you have all these, you were talking about it, all these youth that come in, the 13 to the 17-year-olds, before they head into college, they have this high school opportunity to come in and play some video games. Obviously, not to just play video games, but to get a higher education out of it. Go ahead and tell me what you think the future holds for some of these youth that you're going to be able to coach.
So the main goal here is to provide a foundation for them to have an interest into this field, right? We always use esports and video games as a catalyst, right? Like what the Governor Ige said, what Kelly said, as a catalyst to get into the tech field. And honestly, that's the whole point. We want to help them bridge that interest, give them the opportunity to, hey, this could be you, and we can give you the tools to succeed. What do you want to do, right? And that's the whole goal of here, is just help the youth just become more interested in just like help them grow to become technology people here in Hawaii. Yeah.
And what a great goal that is. JJ Nonquil joining us, and thank you very much, my friend. Have fun the rest of the day here. As I can see, you're kind of busy just either watching the game or kind of talking with people around us. I know you were coaching them. Hopefully, I mean, I saw a few of the picks, and I saw a few of the picks here for you were coaching, I think, Lilac side.
Yes, I was.
And I was interested in seeing 1, 2, 3 bottom lane ADC picks gone in a ban.
Oh yeah,
in a single ban. I don't know who you were countering, but Jin, Jinx, and Twitch all gone in one round. As it is in bans. I mean, that was an interesting. I shouldn't say start because it was Evelyn and Twitch to start, and then out of the last 3 bans, or out of the last 2 bans that he had, Jin and Jinx were 2 of them. So I mean, I have no clue what the thinking was there.
We since like the second round of drafts, we were like, okay, like they already picked their 3 roles. We might as well just ban out all the ADC champions, force them to play something that they're uncomfortable with, or something that they're not used to playing. So then that's the goal.
See, folks, there is coaching in League of Legends as well. This is how you find out how to get more in-depth stuff. While we were away, by the way, that scoreline was 6-4 when we started. It's now 15-10. There were a lot of fights going on that we did not see. I believe that's an Earth Dragon that was taken by the Amber side, so that's going to give them one more. That's going to be 3 dragons away now from Seoul, but Baron also, yes, Baron is up as of right now as a 20-minute mark. So Baron, of course, if you don't know of this game, Baron giving you that little boost, if you will, towards your minion lane, gives you a little more gold in the end as well. And if you can take that, that's a huge objective to take. And the only way really that you can take it is if you kill like 3, 4 people on the other team to go take it, and you have enough health. You have enough time and health to get there, because unless you're one of the new characters, Belveth, that can basically just
smelt it.
Yeah, just initial D it and just wail right out.
Slap it.
It'll just slap it, and eventually it'll die a couple seconds later.
Exactly.
But that's more for the in-depth. But for the people here, the goal, of course, just getting that pipeline started for the University of Hawaii as well as HPU. So JJ, appreciate it, and good luck in the future, my friend.
Thank you, Keegan.
All right, thank you. There it is, JJ Nonquil. We'll bring it back to the game right now with Kyler and Kelly from Paxa. So they will handle some of this game, and we'll get another interview coming up next.
That is where, unfortunate, if you're on the side of Team Lilac, they thought they had that.
Oh,
right?
they thought it.
2v1.
It's a 2v1.
Yeah, 2v1. And just doesn't end up working out for them. I think just because of the amount of healing that comes out from the side of the blank. You know, Wukong, not traditionally known for a lot of healing, but because of the build, right? So when we talk about items, he's able to get items that gives him back life every time he gets or does some damage.
Right.
It allows him to stay alive, keeps him in the game. And now the biggest neutral objective, which I know you didn't even get a chance to talk about. Yeah, right? Well, you can break it down in a second.
Yeah.
Team Amber now has the largest advantage on the map.
Yes, so the Baron Nashor, as you notice, as these players move around, they have a purplish, glowing circular sphere around their characters. So if they come in distance, close proximity to what I was explaining earlier about minions, the minions will get strong, and another team fight.
Another team fight. Cinnamon goes in.
Is being cracked.
Yeah, immediately goes out.
Immediately.
Huge damage though in the backline.
Big
Cinnamon doing work.
Kill on Seraphine, and here we go. Cut. Wow.
Yeah, it ends up being an ace for the side of Team Amber. Not able to do it. Desperation play coming in from Team Lilac.
Desperation play. Yeah.
I mean, overall though, to be fair though, to their point, if you're gonna go for it, that might have been their best opportunity, right? I mean, you could maybe say, wait out the Baron, give over this dragon. It's not worth losing the game over. But they felt like they had a pick, right? They felt like they had that small split-second advantage to go for it. It ends up not working for them. But still, overall, now Team Amber gets to push. They get to start taking turrets. They get to use the minions.
And the Baron buff.
Yep.
And the Baron still, as I mentioned, empowering the minions as they're in proximity.
Yeah, but here we go. Pack Games jumps
back in. Games doing a good job defending here.
Yeah. Pushes them off. Saves the inhibitor turret.
Saves the inhibitor. That's big. That was big. So... you know, something else we're not seeing are the player pings, right? We're not seeing the ability for players to mark the map with special kind of like indicators,
Yeah.
you know, saying, hey, I'm here, or hey, I just died, but go after this guy, right?
Yep.
Because his health is low. So kind of not seeing that. I thought we saw that with the Wukong outplay there earlier,
So
top
it
lane.
does show up over here.
I'm sorry.
No, but you're good. No, you're good. It doesn't show up on the map.
On
Yeah,
the
so
map,
you
yeah.
got or on the main screen.
Right,
So you got to watch the mini map if you want to see the pings. But yeah, a very important mechanic I think that League
Important
added
mechanic,
in.
very important
Yeah,
mechanic.
with the ping system that for a long time they were the only ones doing it, really, right? Not a lot of things were able to be pinged out like that. They really made that a comprehensive system, and so far, yeah, it's worked out.
What
very
do you
well
think
for
of
them.
this? What do you think of this strategy here? So Rift Herald timing probably expiring. They're gonna get a hit at least on the tower. So nice defense.
All right, well, so far, recap of the game for those that don't know. If you're a League of Legends fan, this is what we call the two Drake curse. Cloud and Fire Dragon taken by Lilac to start, but since then, Amber has gone on a tear. 22-12 the scoreline right now in terms of kills. They're also now 2 dragons away from Seoul, which is basically going to up their defense and basically going to make this game almost impossible for Lilac to come back unless something happens here in the next couple of minutes. But that's more for the in-depth stuff. But for those that are the casual viewers here, I've got another person in here, and joining me on the booth right now is Executive Chair of Central Pacific Bank. This is Paul Yonamine joining us. And sir, it's a great environment thus far, and you are also the chairman of TRUE as well. Talk to me about how this came all together and how you decided to jump in and kind of help this along.
Sure. So we started the TRUE initiative back in late 2019, so it was right before COVID. I head up a bank, here in Hawaii, and a lot of people always ask me, why are you so involved in technology? Why are you involved in esports? But, a bank is only good when the community is strong, when our customers are doing well. And we heard it loud and clear. A lot of people were really struggling here in Hawaii. High cost of, living, real estate, I mean, you name it, right? And so we looked into the data and we realized that people who are tech-enabled make a better living. I mean, it's that simple, right? And so with that, we embarked on what we call the TRUE initiative. We got a lot of commitment from the governor, from DBED, Mike McCartney, and as a result, we asked and invited, and today we have about 24 organizations, including the state of Hawaii, working with us to create demand for technology. We have to create demand, not just train people, because if you train them well, they're going to leave, right? So we have to create demand here locally for the state, for private sector here, and then in the process, we all collaborate, we benchmark, we learn from each other, and we accelerate technology adoption. And so as a part of that, as an extension, we said, look, let's go to even the younger folks. And, how do we excite them? How do we get them interested in technology adoption? And it was boom, esports, right? You look at how popular esports is in Asia today. I mean, in South Korea, they filled 20, 30,000 people in a stadium. And we look at Hawaii, and we're very Asian-centric in Hawaii, right? There must be something in the DNA that makes us good at esports, right? So, but all humor aside, I mean, we are strategically located between the mainland and Asia, and I see a lot of events here. I see a lot of esports evangelists, players, supporters convening here in Hawaii. And, we're always talking about tourism diversification. Well, here it is. This is such a great opportunity for us.
And I know Governor Ige was poking at you a little bit during that entire speech, but #1 bank in Hawaii as well. So congratulations on that. And you talk about that sense of community, which involves you with the bank. So with the community involved, and you can see how many people came out to kind of support this, and all the eyes watching the screen right now of the game, and of course all the eyes that were in the opening ceremony, everybody that was watching this on Twitch, online, as well as on Olelo Channel 55. You're watching all of these eyes coming in from the community to this one esports lab, and now that's going to expand from here, right, to all of the public libraries. For you, when you see this when that expansion does happen, what is the end goal for you when you see this kind of esports thing? Because you were talking about esports in Asia coming here and bringing all the community together. How do you want the community to view this in the end when it's all brought and all said and done with all the public libraries?
Yeah. So, first off, I appreciate you recognizing Central Pacific Bank as becoming #1. That was through a Forbes study. But I'd like to just say, and I'm not trying to be humble here, but the other banks have done a great job here in this community as well. So we appreciate that recognition, but we're not taking anything for granted there. In terms of and then your follow-on question was really more about what are those results or deliverables that we're going to be pleased with. We'd love to see it broaden out to the other libraries. There's 50 more libraries to go, right? But at the end of the day, we have to see it in the data. Has it really increased per capita income, for example? Has it allowed people to have a better lifestyle, as a result of technology? At the end of the day, rolling them across all these libraries, that's a great thing, and it's going to be a lot of fun, right? But we got to make sure that we stay focused on getting the results, and that is to help people in our community to have a better lifestyle.
And last question for you before we let you go here, as we're talking with Paul Yonamine, Executive Chair of Central Pacific Bank, as well as the Chairman of the TRUE Initiative here. Last thing, and JJ Nankwa was talking with us about this, how it's for the youth, how the 13 through 17-year-olds can come in here, learn, and get a little bit of a higher education in the STEM field. For you, getting those youth in, and you talk about results, with the youth coming involved and kind of with the parents involved, how big is, in your mind, Hawaii going to be able to grow with this whole initiative with the TRUE Esports? How is there a limit to how big this can get?
It's really hard to respond to that. I mean, naturally I'd like to be super optimistic and say it's going to get huge, but these are still baby steps, right? And we have to create some proof points, one step at a time. But we need to stay focused on making sure we get those results, right? And so we've started it. We've kick-started it. We're very happy to have the governor here today to fully support it. We have a lot of people who are very passionate about this. And when you have passion and you have leadership, you have an opportunity. And we're not going to get complacent and think that this is going to be bigger than tourism or something like that. They're baby steps, but we're going in the right direction.
Paul Yonamine joining us. Thank you very much, sir, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Paul Yonamine, Executive Chairman of Central Pacific Bank, as well as Chairman of the TRUE Initiative. We'll take you back to the game, as it looks like Amber's got 3 Dragons now, 1 away from that soul. We'll take you back into the game right now.
Defense here. They're looking up for, a defensive team fight, potentially getting some picks off the, defending their base.
Worth noting, right? As long as the inhibitor turrets are up, as long as the inhibitor is up, nothing drastic has been lost. But as it stands, the rest of the red team, right, Team Amber, are grouping up together. They're staying as a unit, trying to keep their distance before the rest of the team fight breaks out.
Yeah.
Right, as it stands, everyone else still moving around the map slowly. This is where this becomes a little more tense for the players, right? This is where one mistake could cost you the game, right?
Absolutely.
Especially if you're on Team Amber's side.
Absolutely. And so what do you make of the top lane, or Irelia in the top lane pushing out, given the fact that the other team has, all the advantage? Oh, well, here's...
Yeah, Blank actually could be in a bad spot here. So that he chooses to... Okay, yeah, he chooses to play with fire a little bit. He's just going to hang out.
After the outplay, yeah. I think he's trying to send a message that he's a duelist. He's very good.
Let's talk about that a little bit. That is a fun aspect about this, that, some of these players get to show, is that, when they're ahead, right? When they're feeling when they're the heat check, right? I think is what you call it in basketball, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. What that play was for the Blank. He was able to live and outplay a 2 versus 1 scenario. He knows he's not in trouble. He can stay down there all he wants. He's solid. He's good. He's not worried about anybody else, because for the side of Team Lilac to stop him, it's gonna take 2, 3, 4 members potentially to get him off of that lane.
Sure.
All right, well, let's take a look at this here, because now Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, right? If you look in the top left side of the screen, 25 seconds the timer. They are about to start up the next team fight, and if they get the Dragon Soul for Team Amber, you can pretty much count this one done and dusted. That means they're going to be so much harder to kill.
So much more powerful. So talk about the buff real quick.
All right, so you can see on your screen right now, you got 29 to 13 kills. It all started really well. I guess it was 6 to 3 with Amber's kills as they're fighting for this last dragon right now. We'll actually take it back there because that dragon's already at half health. This would give them, so we'll keep it there for just a second before we come on.
Big team fight.
Big team fight. Huge team fight.
Yeah, nice Seraphine ultimate
Seraphine
does stun up and stun, but the Wukong blank in the backline picks up 1, picks up 2. The Wukong, like we were talking about, the heat check, he's feeling strong. He's feeling hot.
Too strong.
Forces the rest of the squad out, and just like that, they are forced to retreat, but it is a team.
Okay, so as rough as that is, first, I guess we will be talking about this in our friend group here because that is, ladies and gentlemen, what we like to call the 2 Drake curse. First off, Lilac got Cloud and Fire Dragon, which gave them a 2 dragon lead, but you need 4 to get something out of it. And Amber decides to run the table and gets all 4 in a row, all 4 Earth Dragons in a row to give them Earth Soul and a lot more defense. This tower's about to go down, and it's pretty much over. This game is pretty much over, but we're going to keep going here on our end. They might wrap up a game here. Amber's just going to run away with this game. So Amber's going to win. Unisia, Japanese Jungler, the blank minus Electron, and I'm Not Vegan going to run away with this game. And a final scoreline of 33 to 13 in kills. So what a game that was, and a very quick game, but Amber's going to just run away with it. You can see here in the split screen right now, that's the final look, and they're all gathered together actually because it's a 3-minute delay between the teams as well as, or between the game as well as the spectator mode, just for safety reasons, if anything, just to not cheat in here. But there's the Olelo feed going back to Kyler and Kelly. But here inside our booth here, inside of the Waipahu Public Library, we have Kason Padilla, who is the executive director of Hawaii Esports Alliance and one of the sponsors here of the TRUE Esports Tech Lab initiative. So, Kason, let's talk about this because, first of all, Hawaii Esports Alliance, pretty new to the scene here. So let's talk about what the Hawaii Esports Alliance is.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Keegan. It's funny, you say it's new, and obviously HEA is a new thing, but I don't like calling the group new because really it's a combination of all of the leaders here who've been doing the groundwork for upwards of a decade, and we're just coming together like, hey, let's make this happen.
And it's a great initiative. I know I've seen a couple of things, right? You have some of the high school coaches. Iolani's in there. I know Kyler Tando, who's casting as well. He's the Honolulu coach. I know he's in there as well. But you got plenty of high schools involved. I know you have the University of Hawaii involved. You have HPU involved. So really HEA is kind of more of a centerpiece for everything when you take a look at the web, because the web of all the teams, of all the coaches and stuff like that, because you are here at the TRUE Esports Lab, Tech Lab, and that web can reach out to HEA. So for you guys, what is that reach looking like in the future for you guys?
Yeah, so we are an advisory group first. We want to be there to help guide the conversation, not so much lead it by ourselves, right? We don't want to be the elitist group. We want everyone who wants to be involved in esports to have that agency, and we just want to be the catalyst for that. So yeah, I think near future, I'd say, obviously we've got the high school leagues and whatnot, but what we're doing here at TRUE, we got to get to the community, right? We got to be there. The libraries they've been a fantastic partner. It's so cool to see people kind of coming out of the woodwork, like, oh, hey, I've played games. Yeah, I get this. I know the space, and seeing that from angles we haven't expected it before, and everyone being on the same page about it, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, and you've got everybody on the same, speaking of the same page, right? You have all these eyes. You're looking out at the crowd right now, all the eyes that are on the game itself, on the stream, and then you have the Twitch stream up, the Olelo stream up, as well as our stream. You look at all the eyes coming from the community inside of this one place. What does that mean to you, seeing how bright this future could be?
Yeah, I was telling Sky earlier, it's a little surreal. It feels weird to be here and seeing the governor and seeing big names like Paul and everyone just being excited about the future of esports. It's hard to think it's anything but bright. We're making it happen. It's happening right now.
And you can hear the music in the background. Olelo and their stream has just ended. We'll keep it here for maybe one or two, or actually a couple more minutes. Again, Amber winning their game. Kill line was 33 to 13, and basically winning off of a 2 Drake curse and 4 dragons for them. But congratulations to Team Amber. So last question for you before we let you go. You talk about the future, like you're an advisory group, but future looks good. You've run a couple of tournaments as well, right? You've run the tournaments back at KawaiCon. BlizzCon earlier this year in April, and now you're seeing a tournament, or not a tournament, I should say, a showcase here for you guys as a whole for the Hawaii Esports Alliance. It's a nonprofit organization, but in the future, what do you want to see happen with this, with HEA and all of esports in Hawaii moving forward?
Yeah, so first I'll say that for sure competition is very important to the bigger picture, but we want to stress that it's not the only thing. You know, it has to be what are the kids getting out of it? What are the parents being sure that their kids are getting out of it? So it's the education, it's the community, it's the business that's getting their share of it. It's everyone coming together and making this happen together, and you know, this is it. It's right now.
All right, and well, so that'll do it for Kason Padilla here. We'll get one or two more people in here to wrap things up and talk about it. But Kason, I appreciate your time.
Thanks again.
Kason Padilla here. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back here with one or two more interviews. We'll see if we can pull Kelly out, Kelly Oyoka, president of PAX, out here and talk about it before we wrap things up. And you're watching the ESPN Honolulu's presentation of the True Esports Plus Tech Lab Showcase right here on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome back here to the let me turn that off real quick since we're hearing it in our heads. But welcome back, everybody, here to the ESPN Honolulu's presentation of the True Esports Plus Tech Lab show match going on. And actually, we have one of the people here that were casting the match, if you will. This man was shoutcasting it, a 33-13 match. Just to recap for you, in kill line, Amber wins this 33-13, and if you will, a two-Drake curse. If you know the realm of League of Legends, it is a thing. First two dragons taking Cloud and fire by the side of Lilac, and then Amber will run off straight with Earth Dragons, 4 straight for them, giving them a lot of defense and just running away with the game. So Unician from UHE, Japanese Jungler from HPU, the Blank from UHE, Mindless Electron, HPU, and I'm Not Vegan from HPU taking the win on a Seraphine, Lilia, Wukong, Sivir, and Senna lineup. So, but first and foremost, here down with us is one of the casters, like we were mentioning. This is Kelly Uoka, president of PAXA, joining us here. And Kelly, what a wonderful time that was. You were in the booth with Kyler Tandle, K-Tad, who was in there. So talk to me about your experience inside of the booth.
Oh, it was phenomenal. Like I was telling Kyler earlier, it was like a dream come true for me. It's like I mentioned in our talk, avid gamer for the last 30 some odd years, and then now to be a part of something competitive like this, where we brought, really two, highly competitive educational collegiate institutions, right, competing against each other in an exhibition match at the public library to show the possibilities. If you notice anything, like from production all the way till the gameplay itself, like there was not a glitch in gameplay.
Nope.
And so it lends itself to the computing power, that we brought to the public library system, and we're really proud and excited about taking this forward, potentially to other public library systems, maybe not only on Oahu, but perhaps to the outer islands as well.
And you're one of the big sponsors, and inside you saw Team Lilac's, actually, I believe it was either Team Lilac. Yeah, Team Lilac's computers, all brand new and all Omen PCs, I should say, too. And I saw the login. It was PAXA on there, so I saw all the computers on there coming from PAXA, and you guys are big on this initiative. You were talking about earlier during your speech, right, how this is not an arcade. This is a tech lab for the kids to come into. So for you as president of PAXA and watching this whole thing going through, for you, this inaugural esports thing leads up to what?
I think it, hopefully it just leads up to more accessibility and opportunity in our community for using esports as a catalyst towards digital literacy. And that could include anything from, computer-based training to literally help you get a job. I mean, we talk about it all the time in our industry, but having a industry-recognized credential and or certification provided by, some of the tech giants like Microsoft, AWS, Oracle, HPE is really important to somebody's career. So, getting the educational opportunity here at the library, I think it's a perfect mix, intersection of technology and community.
And we saw everything leading up to it. You were talking with the sports animals earlier this week right here on ESPN Honolulu. Not here, I should say, on Facebook and YouTube, but earlier on air at 92.7 FM and 1420 AM. You see the support from the community, right? You see it from the radio side. You saw it from TV with Olelo coming on Channel 55. You saw it on the Twitch stream as well. Lots of viewers there. And you saw the support here in the stands as well. I mean, you had the governor out here as well, with all the eyes coming in on this program, on this one inaugural program. How hopeful are you for the future of this entire thing?
Oh, I'm extremely hopeful. I mean, the governor's words, resonated with me. I mean, he said there's no reason we shouldn't do this throughout all 50 additional locations throughout the state. And really, there is no reason. Yes, the gaming rigs, the PCs that we put in, they're fairly high priced, but not out of reach for sponsors like PAXA, Central Pacific Foundation, etc. So there's opportunity there to build kind of like a turnkey package that we can put together for the remaining, however many branches, and not only the library. I mean, it could extend everywhere, right? To again using esports as a catalyst, because it's just such a global phenomenon that I've been a part of almost my entire life. As I was saying earlier, if the opportunity afforded itself, when I was in high school to play competitive esports, I'm almost certain I would probably have done that as opposed to playing football and running track.
Yeah, if you feel like this, how do you think I feel when I was just outside of that race to go in? I was just outside of it just to see all of this going on. And let's talk. I mean, I just found out, not just found out, but as soon as I come out of high school into college, I realized then there's now the HHSAA that comes in that has this esports thing of Rocket League, League of Legends, as well as Super Smash as well. And I think they're getting into NBA 2K, but that's a little more in depth. But now that you see the HHSAA involved, and now that you have this True Esports Plus Tech Lab, for the future-wise, for the youth, for anything really in the community for the future, what do you envision?
Yeah, I mean, so that we talked about that as well, and we kind of
early on as the grassroots, as it was just a grassroots idea, we said, why not have it in every public library and public school in the state of Hawaii? And that included, again, like I said, yes, it's considerably priced, but not out of reach, especially for educational institutions. So I think to have it in the library and then extend the reach out to every high school in Hawaii is the end goal. And then maybe even there's some opportunity for middle school, elementary, I don't know. But I think that in itself would be a huge opportunity for Hawaii to take advantage of. I can't think of any other geography on the continental U.S. that's doing what we just did today.
And I can say, I can say for sure that I haven't seen anything like that. Otherwise, it would be right up there with us on Twitch side, but we'd probably be above it. Let's be fair now. But I saw you go inside of the booth. Give me your first experience. What was that like? Shoutcasting?
Like I said, it's a dream come true. I mean, I watch. I always wondered about why kids nowadays, or high schoolers, they get so enamored with these internet personalities right on Twitch. They spend a lot of time on their mobile devices. I mean, what are you watching? And they're watching people play Valorant, League of Legends, 2K, whatever it might be. But they're watching these personalities build their own brand and broadcast out the gameplay and who they are out of their own house, right, using commodity internet connection. So I think, I was getting to be a part of that a little bit. Like I said, it's a dream come true.
So when do we see you go from the booth and then onto the computer? For
yeah,
one
so
of our
I was telling Kyler that there. I'm not. I probably am maybe close to some of the players in that room, and they'd shoot me. but I was telling him, if for some reason there's a player that can't show up, I'd be happy to.
All right, folks, you heard it here. Kelly Ueoka looking to be a substitute or could even be a starter for one of these teams as well. Kelly Ueoka, president of PAXA, we really do appreciate your time here, as well as coming right out of the booth into our scene. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Again, Kelly Ueoka, and we'll be right back. We'll try to get one more. If not, we'll start wrapping things up. You're watching ESPN's Honolulu's presentation of the True Esports Plus Tech Lab Showcase Match. All right, welcome back, everybody. Here, this will be the last of our interviews here, as we can see the crowd basically piled out of here, and they have gone back and hopefully not having to. If you know the public library here, it's kind of putting in quarters, and this man has probably spent more quarters than anything else throughout the previous 2 days trying to get the parking situation out. It's quarter parking here for 2 hours. It's $1 for 2 hour parking, which isn't bad.
Not too
I mean,
bad. It's not bad.
But then you also have to get in quarters in that machine as well to bring in. But we do welcome in Director of Technology for Olelo, Todd Yamamoto here. And Todd, let's talk about your guys' involvement here, because I mean, this was on Olelo Channel 55. It was on Olelo's Twitch channel now. So for you guys as a whole, I mean, as Olelo, what was the initiative into coming here?
For us, we just wanted to be a partner of any kind, especially esports. We're trying to build our esports distribution and content making. It was really important for us to be a part of this huge just collection of partners and expanding the content of esports and the awareness of kind of where it is today. As you know, it's growing more and more through even middle school, high school, and now university. So yeah, it was great. We had it on live stream on our Facebook, Twitch, and again, Olelo 55 on both Hawaiian Tel and Spectrum.
And it's great how you guys are just like this public thing, right? I mean, you have the channels kind of conflicting with each other on different, like between Spectrum and Hawaiian Telecom, but you guys are on both, and that's huge as a community reach. And you guys do all sorts of things, whether it be from government all the way to just community stuff. But now that you talk about esports in here, this was kind of everybody keeps saying that this is the start of something big, and you guys want to be able to showcase that. You as a whole for you guys now, as Olelo, what is the end goal when you guys see what has gone on here? What do you guys what do you envision going on here in the future with TRUE Esports Tech Lab, and maybe even going forward, maybe HHSAA, maybe different leagues coming here as well? What do you guys think of that?
Again, yeah, we just want to continue to build upon this first initiative, and hopefully we can do more of these into other public libraries. We want to, be able to help the community revitalize the libraries in each district, but also just, again, just expanding the awareness of esports and where it is now.
And I know you're the person for technology. Could you go on one of those computers and play?
I used to compete back in the day.
What was your game of competition?
Back in the day, it was CS 1.5. So I played a little COW back in the day. And then PUBG, a little bit of competitive on PUBG.
Oh, this man's in the modern times now. This man is within the 21st century here, and he knows. I mean, we had Paul Yonamine, we had Governor Ige on. They were more of the old tech guys, but now I think you could go out there and kind of play League of Legends.
No.
You know those games.
No,
I mean,
I do, but those kids
Fortnite,
I'm nowhere in their league. No Fortnite. No Fortnite.
I mean, you are a battle royale. You know Fortnite. Todd Yamamoto joining us for a good couple minutes. Again, Olelo Channel 55. You could watch that as well as go check out the VOD. It'll be on Olelo's Twitch feed as well as Facebook, and I believe YouTube as well, you said.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Check out any of the VOD there if you want the full game. We were just doing some interviews on our end, but you want to check out the full game as well as the effervescent 2 Drake curse that happened. Again, check that out on Olelo's Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube side. Todd, thank you for a good couple minutes. We appreciate it. We'll come back in about 30 seconds and wrap things up. All right, welcome back, everybody, here to the Esports Tech Lab plus TRUE Esports plus Tech Lab here, and some final thoughts with you here. That this you saw how big this thing is and how many interviews we got throughout the whole day. We had Kelly Oyoka from Paxa come in, one of the big sponsors, of course, Paul Yonamine from Central Pacific Bank, as well as Leilani Farinas from the whole thing, the Esports Tech Lab from TRUE, and you saw the support from the University of Hawaii as well, right? JJ Nonquil, as well as Niall Sky Kawaloa, who is a doctorate, but he's envisioning in its doctorate degree to bring this all together. And of course, we had different people as well coming on, and you saw all the different support that went on here. And this is just the first. You got, and like I forget who said it, but you have 50 more public libraries to go. The initiative here, of course, all of the public libraries are going to be having something here in the future, and you want to be able to recognize that this thing in esports is growing. And I know back in a couple days ago we were talking about if esports is a sport. We won't go into that. Obviously, it'll get heated here, but we won't talk about it at that point. But with this initiative going on, we were proud to cover it. ESPN Honolulu here covering the whole thing for you. We had different interviews, and it will be up on Facebook and YouTube for anybody to watch back. So if you want to show how this initiative is growing and all the positive words that were going along here inside of the esports initiative, you can check it out again on Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you're watching it. But we want to thank everybody that came along. Thank you very much to our social media manager, Jaren Kobashi-Gawa, who came out as well to kind of take pictures along the way. And thanks to all of our guests who joined in as well. Thanks to Olelo for helping us with that visual feed you saw of the game, as well as the True Esports Plus Tech Lab initiative for helping us get out here. This was the League of Legends showcase match for the True Esports Plus Tech Lab here at the Waipahu Public Library. The first of many, as the final scoreline for kills, 33-13, and it would be the team of Amber that gets the win. Amber's teammates, Unician, known as Donald Yu, Japanese jungler known as Michael Murakami, The Blank from Kaibi Akioka, Mindless Selectron from William Robello Garnos, and I'm Not Vegan, Sean Kanata, all getting the win here in the showcase, in the very first showcase match of the Esports and Tech Lab from True. Until a future stream, maybe we do this more in the esports realm, but until next time, stick around for more content. I know we'll see later on here on ESPN Honolulu and the radio side, 92.7 FM and 1420 AM. Josh Pacheco will be doing the Sports Animals afternoon show coming up in a little while. The noon show just passed on, and actually as we hit the 1 o'clock hour. So that'll be it for us, and we'll see you in the future. Take care, everybody.